Hello, it's Rebecca and happy Boxing Day. I hope you've had a lovely Christmas and Father Christmas bought you everything you wanted. Today is another book review day and this is another one of my festive Christmas cheesy romance type books that I wanted to read through December just to make me feel all Christmassy. So I have been reading How to Stuff Up Christmas by Rosie Blake. So I will read you the blurb and then talk to you about the book. Eve is heartbroken after discovering her fiancé is cheating on her. Being surrounded by the joys of Christmas is more than Eve can bear, so she chooses to avoid the festivities by spending Christmas alone on a houseboat in Pangbourne. Eve gets an unexpected seasonal surprise when handsome local vet Greg comes to her rescue one day and continues to visit Eve's boat on a mission to transform her from kitchen disaster zone to culinary queen. But where does Greg keep disappearing to? What does Eve's best friend Daisy know that she isn't telling? And why is there an angry goose stalking Eve's boat? So, this one I didn't like so much. The cover is super Christmassy, and I know we shouldn't judge books by their covers, but this one was just really, it just made me feel all warm and fuzzy and excited. And it was a bit damp. Like the blurb says, Eve is living with her fiancé and she needs to quickly use his phone, and as she opens the phone up, a picture of a lady's nether regions appears on the screen, and obviously she knows it's not hers, and she realises that her fiancé is cheating on her. So she splits up, and her mum is an overbearing, annoying woman who insists that Eve must spend Christmas with them to cheer herself up. She's not allowed to do what she wants, even though she's an adult and can make her own choices, and is very disappointed when Eve wants to go and spend her Christmas on a houseboat in a town not too far away with her dog Marmite and go on a pottery course. Each to their own, whatever you want to do. And so that's what she does. She takes herself away and moves into this houseboat for about 4 weeks or something and goes on a pottery course. And one day while she's there with her dog Marmite, she ends up falling in the river, and this nice helpful man, Greg, comes along, helps her out, feeds her, tries to make her feel better, and she's a little bit fascinated by him. Now, this is where the first kind of warning bell rings. And I know these things are fantasy, but I also think there should be a little bit of realism attached to it as well. She's more than welcome to let this strange man onto her houseboat. Now, surely she should say, thank you very much for helping me out of the water, and thank you very much for being there and helping with my dog, and that's great, but no thank you for coming inside my houseboat. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you could do. But thank you very much. That's very kind. And I know we shouldn't assume that all men are evil and are going to rape and kill and all that kind of stuff. But I think a woman should really pay attention to what could happen. And like I say, I know it's fantasy and I know it's supposed to be this kind of idealised Hollywood view of romance. But we should still be careful. Any new person we meet, we should still be careful. So anyway, she's let this man into her houseboat and she's got herself all dry and everything, and then he has to disappear. And she keeps bumping into him and a little spark grows and she goes on her pottery course and she's getting herself really into making these plates and cups and teapots, and she's really enjoying herself, and she's liking not being with her family, not being with her friends, just being away from everything that could possibly upset her or make her feel miserable or anything like that. So she's enjoying herself. But she's got this little fascination with Greg the vet, and she makes excuses to go to his vet's practice with her dog just so she can see him, and eventually he asks her out on a date, and he goes to pick her up from her houseboat and he's all dressed up smart and she's really excited, and he has to make his apologies and leave. He can't take her out on the date because he has somewhere else that he needs to be, and that drags up loads of negative emotions and feelings in Eve because she has been cheated on, and although she's not been out with this guy yet, she automatically assumes that he's doing something wrong. And it's perfectly innocent, and I won't say what it is, but you can kind of guess why he has to keep disappearing. And I don't know, I don't feel that it's a particularly strong story. It's not a particularly Christmassy story. It's set around Christmas time, but in all seriousness, it could have been set at any time. There's nothing specific enough in it to demand that it be set at Christmas. Anyone could have their fiancé cheat on them and decide to take themselves away and go and do something different with their life just for a short while, just to kind of recharge and, you know, take a break from their normal way of life. So sadly I wouldn't call it a Christmas book or a Christmas story, because even the weather wasn't particularly Christmassy. It could have been November, it could have been April. It's cold and rainy. There's no real Christmas feel. There's no Christmas excitement, Christmas lights. There's a little bit of Christmas food. And one thing I did like about this book, at the beginning of some of the chapters, you get a recipe for something that Eve or somebody else in the chapter is going to cook. And I just think that's quite clever. Some things are like just a salad. Other things are a little bit more complicated, like gingerbread. So if you wanted to cook what Eve cooks, then you can. And I think that's quite an interesting little twist in the book, because it makes something more, it kind of gets you involved in the story. You're cooking along with Eve. But as for the entire thing, sad to say I didn't enjoy it. And the cover just really excited me, and just, it felt super Christmassy, and the story was just, it was predictable, but not in a good way. I don't know, I can't really explain it. Some things are predictable, but the story's still exciting, and you like the characters and you kind of get involved and excited. I didn't really like Eve. Greg was okay. The mum was really annoying. Her best friend, okay again, but still not, yeah, not a lot I can really say about it. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't particularly Christmassy, and it didn't make me feel festive in any way. It made me feel more annoyed with the characters and the stupidity of them. So sad to say I didn't like it. So I wouldn't really recommend it, not even as a Christmas read or a read at any other time of the year. So if you'd like to hear any of my other book reviews, then please subscribe. I put videos out every time I've read a book or done something bookish or writerly or something, I don't know. Anything to do with books, really. So if you're interested in that, then please subscribe, and I will see you soon. Have a good day. Bye-bye.